I'm here with Michelle Zen, Miss Kentucky USA. Can you, Michelle, can you take us through the Miss USA competition? How was the whole experience for you?
Okay, well, I actually won Thanksgiving weekend 2006, and from that moment onward, my whole life was kind of changed in a way. I did a lot of charity events, local charity events. I attended derby events and walked the red carpet a few times and that kind of thing. So it was definitely a good experience. And then also part of winning the title meant that I had to go on to compete for Miss USA, representing Kentucky. And I was actually the very first minority to represent Kentucky in the Miss USA pageant, meaning very first Asian, very first Vietnamese girl, very first minority in general. And while we were at Miss USA, we actually went to Los Angeles for 2 weeks, got to participate in quite a few different events, went to my first Lakers game, went on the Jay Leno show. I actually went on the game show Identity, and we actually did quite a few different events there, and it was just all in all a very good experience. I competed with 50 other girls, so there were 51 girls total. That's taking into consideration a District of Columbia and everything, and it was a good experience. Most of the girls are very nice, and I keep in touch with a lot of them still. So,
Winning Miss Kentucky was tough because last year's winner was Miss USA.
mm-hmm.
So, how did Kentucky? How was it? Like, what was the reception for in Kentucky when you
Well,
won?
it was actually very interesting because having last year's winner as Miss USA, and her name was Tara Connor, and she's most known for her whole, being given a second chance by Donald Trump. And so I got a very mixed reception because of that. Some people just heard the Kentucky title and assumed I was the girl that was, they assumed that. Some people kind of took it the other direction, and they were like, "Oh, you're the one who's going to clean up the image," and I definitely don't claim to be better than her or anything like that, but I didn't ever want to take on that whole responsibility in itself either. I've always just been me, and I made the most of my title.
So, Michelle, how did you handle the pressure after all that? The whole scandal with her. I mean, the whole situation with her, and then you winning the title. I mean, how did you handle that?
Well, it was interesting because I won, like I said, at Thanksgiving weekend of 2006. 2 weeks later was when the whole scandal broke out. So I had just won, I had no idea what was going on, and then all of a sudden I get this call from the Miss Kentucky USA pageant office saying, we're not going to start getting ready for Miss USA just yet because this whole thing just happened. So we're going to have to put this on hold until we figure out what Donald Trump's planning on doing. And it was a very intense few weeks, definitely. It was interesting.
By looking at you, not knowing that you're Vietnamese,
Yeah.
I can't tell what your mix is. So if you don't mind me asking you that.
Okay, I'm actually Chinese, Vietnamese, Mongolian, and Russian. That's my mom's side. And my dad's side is German, Cherokee, Indian, Irish. And I was raised speaking, reading, and writing Vietnamese and English. So I'm very unique in that way.
Do you speak it?
Yes, so em biết nói chút xíu.
Can you say, can you greet our audience real quick?
Yeah. Chào mọi người.
So tell us what brings you here today. I think I believe you're one of the judges, correct?
Yes, I'm one of the judges for Miss Vietnam Global 2008, and I'm really excited.
How did this all happen, you coming here to Miss Vietnam Global?
I'm trying to remember how they got a hold of me, actually. Through my mom, I think. Through my mom, yeah.
Now, since you've had some experience underneath your belt, what advice would you give to some of these girls that are about to go through what you went through back in 2006 for Kentucky and Miss USA?
Okay, well, it actually took me 4 tries to win the Miss Kentucky USA title. Yeah, I never thought I was going to win. So I actually tried 4 different times, 3 times. I tried and didn't win. First time I made top 10, second time I was first runner-up, and third time I was third runner-up. So definitely my advice is don't give up. You have to have persistence. It doesn't mean just because you weren't meant to win one year doesn't mean that you're not meant to win the next year. You have to learn from your mistakes, improve upon yourself. Obviously, if you don't look at what your mistakes are and you just go in doing the same thing you did last year, you're not going to win. But just look at yourself from a different perspective, try to be objective about it, and improve upon yourself.
Okay, now that Michelle, now that you're being asked to be a judge,
Uh-huh.
the position that you being the contestant before, now you're in that power. What are you looking for in these girls?
Okay, well, all these girls are definitely beautiful girls. Otherwise, they wouldn't be here. They wouldn't have passed all the preliminary stuff to come to the actual competition. So I think the most important thing is overall package. I want a girl who's confident, who's able to speak to a wide audience without, getting nervous and just kind of getting cold feet and just stopping mid-sentence and kind of losing what she's saying. I want a girl who's able to convey her message and hopefully unite the Vietnamese population from all over the world.
Have you ever thought about competing in one of these Vietnamese beauty pageants?
I actually, I think a few years ago I contacted a few different ones, but I never got around to it. I've been very busy, so.
Now, besides being a beauty pageant queen, what else are you doing? Are you acting, modeling?
I'm actually in school full time. My major is computer information systems with a concentration in information security. Hopefully someday I plan on going into computer forensics, or if not that, I'm actually planning on taking my LSAT and everything, so I'm possibly going to law school after that. So I do quite a bit of modeling, print work, commercial work. During the weekends I do a lot of traveling.
Now, last question: how do you preserve your Vietnamese culture in Kentucky? Like, is there a lot of Vietnamese out there, or how do you keep with the culture?
Okay. Well, our Vietnamese community is not very big. The Vietnamese community that we do have is very tight knit. We have, the Vietnamese New Year celebration every year. We have a big event for that, but for the most part, there isn't a huge community. So most of my keeping in touch with the Vietnamese culture is through my mom, and she speaks to me in Vietnamese every time I talk to her, so she doesn't speak to me in English at all.
Well, thank you, Michelle, for your time.
Thank you.